Welcome. You're tuned into Common Motives. We're here today to pray to the music gods. Happy Friday. We're going to be doing a new segment on Fridays called Walkthroughs, where I'm going to walk through everything that I'm doing in FL Studio and try to explain everything that I'm doing, why I'm doing it. So this is our first episode of the walkthrough tutorial style videos. I'm not sure exactly the depth of where I should go, so probably not going to cover everything that you would like to know. So go ahead and leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll either get back to you in the comment section or we'll go over it next Friday. Yeah, thanks a lot for all the support. Just quickly, I want to thank everybody for leaving comments and reaching out to me. I've had a few people reach out to me on Instagram and leaving comments and stuff. So yeah, I really appreciate that. It's good to know that I'm getting out to people and that I'm actually, I guess I actually have a purpose. So yeah, when I get feedback, it lets me know that you guys are actually engaged in the videos and that you appreciate what I'm doing. And yeah, more feedback will finely tune what I'm releasing, all the content that'll be going up. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining, subscribing, liking the video. Yeah, thanks a bunch. Enjoy the video. Alright, welcome to the walkthrough. I'm going to go through creating a track. I'm going to explain everything, or I'm going to try my best to explain everything that I'm doing. So once you open FL Studio, chances are it looks like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is right click on one of these channels in the channel rack. I'm going to go down to Insert. We'll go 3x oscillator. That's going to give us our first instrument. And what I want to go with a square wave. So put number 1 to the square wave. Then number 2, we're going to go all the way to the right and turn it down so that we don't hear that one. And then we're going to do the same with the third one. Turn it off. Then we want to go up to this gear icon. Click on that. And it'll bring down a little menu here and go to the second tab. And then you're going to go down to this little filter here. You're going to take, so what we have here is the attack. Well, we have the delay, the attack, the hold, the decay, the sustain, and the release. The only thing you really need to know right now is the attack. What the attack does is tells us how quickly the sound will start. So if you turn the envelopes on by pressing this little button here beside envelope, make sure it's orange, that means it's on. So we see when the attack is turned up a little bit, the sound fades in. So if you turn way up, it takes a lot longer for the sound to get all the way to the top of this little filter. So if you turn it all the way down, that means it's at its peak loudness instantly. And the more you turn it up, the slower it takes. And holds, you don't really need to know that much. You can turn it down a little bit. The next one that you want is the decay. The decay tells us how long it it fades out. So it's like the opposite of the attack. So if you turn it all the way down, it fades out instantly. If you turn it up, then it takes longer. We also have the sustain, which kind of does the same thing. So we turn down the decay. Now you can just mess around with the sustain. The next important one is the release. That's how long it takes for the sound to fade out after you play it. So you can see after you press a button, it takes a while to fade out. And if you turn it down all the way, the sound stops immediately. That's with no release. Then you turn the release up. It takes longer for it to fade out. We're going to turn the decay up a little bit and mess around with the release until you get something you like. And then we can go ahead and, or at the top, this top bar, we want to go to the track and turn it up to, I like to put mine 19. And the first thing we're going to do is go back to the channel rack, right click on the 3x oscillator and go to piano roll. That'll bring up where we put our notes in. So at the very top, where this little keyboard icon is, make sure that's on, so it's highlighted in orange. Make sure it's on, that way you can play notes with your keyboard. And then that'll allow you to preview notes. And then just click to drop them in. It takes a little bit of getting used to pick the right notes in the right key. I'll show you a little trick. If you go over to the mixer, press F2 on the channel, and it'll bring up a little dialog box. I'm going to call it Melody. And then you can click on this little gray triangle here on the right, and it'll bring up the color selector. Or without clicking on the little triangle, you can press F2 again, and it'll pick a random color. We'll just go with that one and press enter. So now we have our highlighted channel in the track rack. Go over to the right, the very right where the slots are. Click on the first one and go find your pitcher right here and select a key. So we'll go with C minor. And then once you select C minor, you have to make sure to select the C from the pop-out menu. And then it will highlight what tracks are in the C minor key. So we have C, D, D sharp, F, G, G sharp, and A sharp. So those are the notes that you want to play in the MIDI, the piano roll, sorry. So what we can do is click this little triangle up in the top left of the pitcher plugin, and then scroll down to detached. That will leave it up on your main screen no matter what window you go to. So now we can go to the piano roll. Just going to change this to pattern 10. That's what I like to do. And so we can see here down at the bottom we have a pitcher open. to the C minor key. So now we can paint in notes in that key. We've got a basic melody. We'll copy and paste it a couple times there. And we want to go back to the channel rack, right click, insert another 3x oscillator. And this is going to be our bass. So we're going to click. You can probably set it to anything and it will sound good. Just going to pick random ones here. And where it says coarse, we're going to drag that down to the left so that it's down 24 semitones or 2 octaves. Sounds like a bass. Now you can right click on that and go back to the piano roll. Actually, yeah, so I think you want to go into the top left of the piano roll, go down to view. I think we want to have ghost channels selected, so make sure there's a check mark there. Yeah, if you don't have that selected, then it won't show the notes from the other channels. Go up to the top left, go down to view, then go down to ghost channels. That will show you in this case, the melody that we created. So now we're going to go in and paint a bass line. I'm going to go to the mixer and turn it down a little bit. Again, we're going with our C minor chords here. And we're doing all this with the keyboard. So what I just did was I right-clicked on the melody, 3x oscillator, went down to clone. What clone does is make a direct copy of the instrument that you select. So now that I have that copied, I'm going to drag it down to the 18th track. We're going to go ahead and change it. Turn on our second oscillator by dragging this up to the middle. We're going to change it to a square wave. And for the bass, we're going to put that on 12. I'm going to play and come up with a counter melody. Right click on it, piano roll. We're going to copy and paste. So hold Control to select the notes. We're going to go copy and paste, which is Control C, and then Control V. Do that a couple of times as well. We're going to change it up a little bit. the last time that it plays here. So we can go to the mixer and we'll go to insert 18, press F2 to bring up the dialog menu, melody 2, and then you can click on this little triangle and select color, press enter. So we're going to turn that one down a little bit too. And you can right click on these little green dots here to solo the channel. I'm going to go in to the slot and select Fruity Delay 3. Turn the level down, that'll turn down the amount of echoes that will play back. If you have it turned up all the way, it plays unlimited. Like if you turn it up all the way, it'll play unlimited echoes. So turn it down and it will play less echoes. So if it's down low, the level, it'll play 1 echo. If you turn it up all the way, it will start to feedback, and you don't want that. We're going to turn it down a little bit, not quite all the way. Then we're going to turn the wet down a little bit, which means the lower the wet, the quieter the echoes will be. So if you turn it all the way down, you can hardly hear it. If you turn it up all the way, it's more noticeable. We're going to turn it down a little bit. And the cutoff, what the cutoff does is cut off the high end of the sound. So it's, I don't really know how to explain it. It's just a lower frequency that plays. So if the cutoff is all the way up, it'll play the exact same. If you turn it down, it'll be like a deeper sound, I guess. Then we're going to go over to the right side of the... I keep forgetting what it is. The mixer. The right side of the mixer. Go to slot 2 and we're going to put in Fruity Parametric EQ2. Then the first thing you want to do is go up to these 2 arrows here, right click, and you want to put in 40 Hz and 18 kilohertz cut. And then it has 2 little knobs here that you can drag. And what you see here is showing the frequency of what we're playing. So what we want to do is get rid of this low end. We're going to go like that. Because everything below that is unneeded, so what that does is cut it. We don't need low frequencies when we're using a higher frequency based instrument. So we can cut them out. Okay, so we can go back and hear how that sounds. But not bad. We'll go to our bass, F2, call it bass. Check the color. I'm gonna try and change up the bass line a little bit. Alright, don't forget to save. Now we're going to go over to packs on the left side of the screen here. We've got our sample library. We're going to go to packs. Collapse all of them at the top here. Press this up arrow. It'll collapse everything. We're going to go down to packs, drums. Oops. Packs, drums. And go down to pattern 1 for drums. And we're going to click on the sample and bring up this little dialog window. At the top, we want to go to the filter. And this is the same as the 3x oscillator. So the attack, if you want to enable the envelope, bring the attack down. Because remember, if we have the attack up, it'll take longer for the sound to play. So we want to turn the attack down. Turn down the hold and the decay. And the release we don't really need because it's a kick drum. There we go, we got a little refined kick there. Go over to the left and go down to snares. We're just painting in kick drums and snares. can click on the snare and do the same thing with the envelope. If you want to, you can turn down the attack, down the whole of them, the decay. It's not going to make much of a difference because it's a short sample. Then we're going to go to the mixer and add some effects. So we have our snare on channel 2, or track 2. We can call it snare, and the next one's the kick, F2. What we're going to do here is we're going to deattach this pitcher down to the bottom, deattach, and then that'll go back to the back screen. And we're going to select our snare and kick. So you'll have to press Control and Shift to click on both of them and have them both highlighted. Then we're going to go down to the bottom of the mixer of channel 4. We're going to click this little arrow. Or sorry, you want to right click the arrow and do route to this track only. What that's doing is sending both of these selected channels to the 4th channel. And then we're going to go and color this one black. And that'll be drums mix. And then we're going to go to insert 5, F2, drums double. So what that essentially does is create a direct copy of the 2 channels that you selected originally, which in turn makes them louder because you're overlapping 2 of the same sounds, so that just makes it louder. Then we're going to go in and add some effects. EQ to our kick drum. We'll select, right click on the circle for the kick drum, make it solo. Then we're going to go to our EQ. And this is pretty much up to your own taste. Whatever sounds good. Use your ears. If it sounds good, it is good. I'm going to go to our snare and essentially do the same thing. Slot 1, parametric EQ 2. Again, we're going to cut out some of this low end. And what we're doing here is this little hyphen tab here. I'm going to change that. See, it's changing there. You want to go up to the star looking setting, and then that allows you to move a selection of whatever frequency you have highlighted. Turn it down a little bit. We're actually going to add some reverb to this drums double insert. Fruity reverb. We're going to turn the decay down. What the decay is, the longer it takes for the sound to disappear. So shorter, it'll take less time for it to disappear. And then if we turn it up, see, it lasts a lot longer. So we want to turn that down. And the amount of reverb, we want to turn that up. And go back to it, and we're going to turn up the low cut, about 125. That'll take out the low frequencies of the kick drum that we don't need to reverb. I'm going to turn the reverb amount down to about 30. Then we can go to our playlist view, this little tab here, and we can paint in, make sure you have the paint tool selected, paint in the beat. So we can go up here to the song preview, make sure it's highlighted in green. That'll play what we have painted in this, what's it called? Playlist, I guess. Then we can go up to pattern 10 that we have our melody and bass line. And go back to the playlist, and paint it in, and go back to song. I like the bass line better when it was just normal. One bar or one note. I'll show you another tip here. We're going to bring in another 3x oscillator. Again, turn these oscillators off on the far right. We're going to go with oscillator 1. What we can do here is create a pad. And what you want to do is, I believe it's 7 semitones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 semitones up is going to create what we call, well, on a guitar you would call it a power chord. But count up 7 semitones from the bass note and you'll get a power chord. And power chords will always sound good together as long as you're in the right key of everything else. So what you can do is select the same bottom notes as your bass line. And then you can go in and you can create minor or major chords. And which one, if you want, it's going to depend on what key you're in. So it kind of, the key that you're in kind of gives away what notes you want to put. So a minor chord is going to be 3 semitones up. 1, 1, 2, 3. And you can see that the next note kind of gave that away because there's a D sharp in that note. So yeah, so you have a D sharp. And then in the second one, you can see there's a C note in the chord that you're playing. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 semitones up creates a major chord. And then you can kind of tell because there's a C note in this chord. So it's easy to guess what note should be played. And then of course, with the third one, we can see there's a G. So it gives us a D sharp major chord. And then we're at there's a difference here with the last chord because the minor and major chords are only the third and fourth notes up from the bottom chord. So this is where you have to have knowledge of the key that you're in. So it's going to be a D chord. So if we go back to our mixer here and select our pitcher, we can see there's a D and a D sharp. So it takes a little bit of practice and getting used to, but just know that the minor chord is 1, 2, 3, and a major chord is 1, 2, 3, 4. And which one you want to pick is determined by the key that you're in. There's a lot of stuff you can do with Google. You can Google different types of chords and stuff like that. And then the melody is going to be in that chord too, so it's very easy to write a melody once you got your chords down. Or it's really easy to write chords when you got your melodies down. So it's really loud, so we're going to put the chords on 17. Go to the mixer and turn and go chords. Turn that down. And that's going to do it for this episode. Kind of going over everything that I can think of within, I guess it's been a half hour, a little more than half an hour. So yeah, I think we're going to do this every Friday. We're going to have a little bit of a walkthrough in what I'm doing and why, I guess. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll either get back to you in the comment section, or we'll go over it next Friday when we have our next walkthrough. So thanks you a lot for sticking around, watching the videos. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.